Let's close our eyes. Find a comfortable position. Settle in. Try to sit in a way where there isn't too much pressure on any of your limbs or organs, so that you can stay and go into your heart, into your mind, and you don't have to remember your body. If something is uncomfortable, then we have to return to the body, and we have to find a space where we can relax the body, so the body will not interfere with the mind. And then the mind can dedicate itself to being available to the heart. This is where everything goes wrong. When the mind thinks that it has any other purpose, then understanding the heart and knowing how to calm it down, the heart is already not safe. And then the mind can go very far and really offend the heart. This is why the world is the way that it is now. This is what we are here to rectify. When the heart is not calm, the organs are not getting their sustenance. And then there will be conflict. Internal conflict will lead to external conflict. So when the body is comfortable, the body is happy, the body has its needs, then the mind becomes available to the heart. In the ancient world, they would train the mind that even when the body is not happy, it should never distract itself from the heart. And the great sages would be able to go through tremendous suffering, and the mind would never forget the heart. This was a demonstration of their loyalty to the divine. But in our generation, in the last few hundred years, since the Baal Shem Tov, he declared that this is no longer a proper service. To try to make the body uncomfortable to prove your loyalty to reality is going to be costly to everyone. It's not an appropriate offering to the divine any longer. The souls have deteriorated with their ability to animate the body. When the body is distracting the soul will for sure not remember itself in our times. And so we have to first find a way to make the body peaceful, also in this moment, but also over time. The right lifestyle, the right cooperation between the relationships where the body can find peace, where we reduce the amount of stress. Stress makes the body uneasy, and then the soul can no longer remember its purpose. The body becomes the distraction that makes all the noise. The body is the base. The body is extremely important. The body is how soul speaks to matter. It's how the infinite light dresses up in order to vibrate into the cosmos what it is and who it is and what it should do. All this gets vibrated through the physical body. That's the place where heaven and earth meet. And so today the service is to learn how to align, it's to learn how to love, it's to learn how to unite and connect. It's not to look for more suffering, it's to find a way to get to a place of silence where there is no suffering. So that the soul that animates the brain can remember itself as the one dwelling in the heart. It can remember its desire for the one dwelling in the heart. It can remember what it is trying to accomplish with all the thoughts that it formulates. Who is it trying to please? What is the purpose? if it's trying to please an idea, it has long lost touch with reality. Reality does not live in ideas. Reality fabricates them. The one who forms the idea should never worship the idea. He must worship the life force that lives in all, the life of the worlds. It's not an idea, it's the source and the root of all ideas. It's the potential for ideas to even exist. It's the space within which ideas get formulated. It's not a book, it's not a person, it's not a concept, it's not a group of concepts, it's not a formula. It's something that lives. It's the only one that knows how to live. No one else knows. If you see life, there, the thing that we worship, the one that we worship, is somehow a little bit there, depending on how much it lives. If it's more alive, he lives there a lot. If it's less alive, he lives there a little. But he's the one that knows how to live. He is the life, the thing itself, the one we are all building with, the one we are all spending on whatever it is we are investing our soul in. He is the currency of all existence. And we want to please him, and we cannot please him unless our heart is singing a song. This is what he designed our organs to do, is to sing to him and to praise to him. This was the intention. Not because we want to please him, but because we are so filled with joy that that's the only thing our heart wants to do. This is the design. Wherever there's going to be a variation from the design, there's going to be a variation in the experience. This can go to extreme places, as we very well know. We want to allow the one that already is to be. How will we do that? By not being anything else. If we try to be something, we're being anything else. He doesn't be something, he just bees himself. He is because he is, and that's how he is. He doesn't need to be defined to know who he is. The one who wants to define him is not him anymore. He is the source of all definition. And that is what lives. And the only thing we know about the one that lives, is how he dressed up. The bodies, the souls, the earth, the heavens, the stars. This is what he dressed up in. This is all we know about him. All the clues are hidden there. That speaks and tells his name. And the only place where his name can be interpreted, the only one who knows to read this map, is the human soul. The map he created so he can find himself was written in a language that only the human soul can interpret. And so everything is waiting for us. It cannot happen any other way. We cannot be busy with something else and then suddenly someone will come and tell us, oh, our problems have been solved. Our problems are waiting for us. We have to realize that we are creating the problems. If we were calm and peaceful under any conditions, where's the problem? We are creating problems. We don't know how to live. We don't know how to be ourselves. We don't know how to calm our heart. There are many problems. We have many people to blame. This is why I can't be calm. That is why I can't be calm. But if you were calm, there would be no problem. And so first the body, then the emotions, then the mind. That's the order. The body is not calm, the mind is blaming itself. The mind is blaming others. The mind is finding who to blame. There is a problem. The body is calm. Oh, emotions, but let's see what's happening around me. Relationships. Oh, this one did this and this one said that. Not calm, the mind is still blaming itself, still blaming others. The mind has no choice. Something is not okay, and how are we going to fix it? Oh, it's not my fault. The emotions are okay. Oh, the mind can think for the first time. The mind has never had an original thought. As a child, it was told what to think, and as an adult, it was too busy to know what it wants to think. The body is comfortable. The emotions are calm. And even better, the emotions are happy. Then the mind starts to shine. Then the soul can be revealed. But in order for this to happen, the mind has to concern itself with the right concerns, so that eventually it will have no concerns. If it concerns itself with the wrong concerns, it will always be concerned. The cycle will never end. And so as civilization was forming and instructions were filling the human mind, because speech was developing, language was being written, the human was being manipulated left and right and center, and he knew nothing of who he is anymore, then came a revelation to reveal to us that everything that we are imagining is completely wrong. It just isn't that way. It never was and it never will be. There is a silence that is beyond imagination, that always was and always will be, and everything we are imagining never was and never will be. Within that silence, there is instruction. That silence speaks louder than words. That silence is screaming us into existence. Within that silence are the instructions of how to be. Nothing we imagine will ever suffice. No rules will ever contain this creature. But there is something that is alive within this creature that knows who this creature is. There's no other way to access that information. So as humans were being manipulated and placed to service of other humans, came a revelation about the self that dwells within all selves. And that self is not pleased with this creature being enslaved to any people, to any concepts, to any ideas, to any symbols. He doesn't appreciate it. He believes that he is the symbol. He is the cause. He is the purpose. There should be no other. And this revelation brought authenticity to our great ancestors that are the reason of why we are having this discussion. The authenticity was so deep that when they variated from the truth, they would lose thousands of their members. This wasn't anymore a theory. This wasn't something imagined. They were facing the truth. The truth that is alive within all that live and can only be seen and understood by the human heart. This revelation liberated the souls from the enslavement of the false world that was created by the imagination. Each nation with its false world. The Egyptians, the mother of all false worlds. Worlds created within the human imagination through words, through engravement of hieroglyphs, through the creation of narrative and story. This is the power of magic, the kingdoms that live in our mind that never were and never will be. They cannot, by their very nature, ever exist. And we are enslaved to those cultures, not because externally someone is forcing us, but because internally something is invisible to us. We've lost the sensitivity because we saw so many humans not have it. This revelation was the liberation of the soul to be free to be herself for the first time. This included the highest levels of joy, but it also included fear. It included a tremendous change in the seriousness of what is taking place, in the magnitude of the impact that we have as we dwell in the human heart, and our understanding of ourselves to know how to direct ourselves accurately. The gap between the seriousness of what is taking place and the way that we interact with it, the gap that our ancestors had to overcome when they realized who is really alive and what is our relationship to him. They couldn't contain their soul, their bodies couldn't contain the magnitude of the occasion. And so this revelation was a revelation of the essence that dwells within all, the essence that's present in each of us, listening and interpreting these words. This is the soul that can interpret the meaning of words. If the soul is clean, these words have a different level of meaning. If the soul is contaminated, it gets each soul according to the preparation of the lens of how she sees reality. Accordingly, she receives perception, the ability to interpret information, and the accuracy of that information, the accuracy of the conclusions of the soul. If the soul feels guilty or filled with shame or fear, then the lens is not clear. Perception is not going to be accurate. And so the revelation of the essence is the absolute, most accurate interpretation of what is taking place right here, right now. That call is always present to the one who will be silent enough and allow the magnitude of the occasion to fill his heart. Life is going to live. Life already promised it's going to live because it created itself. The question is, who is going to be there when it lives? In whom is it going to live? And the answer is to the body that prepares itself. The body cannot prepare itself, obviously, and so the soul must pay attention and know how to prepare his body for the life that wants to live. That's the only worship. That's the only worship there ever was. There is no one else to worship. Anything else that's being worshipped is idol worship. That's the second commandment. Don't you have anything there that you think is more important than the thing itself? If you create something that's more important than the thing itself, you've already lost the thing itself. In the end, there will be unity. In the end, the one will be. How will the one be if we're all going to be there to watch him? He will be one. His name will be one. Where are we? Oh, we're not a problem to that. We are that. We've just forgotten that we are part of a greater one. We think that we are somehow separate from the rest. Something in our mind is broken. And so then he will be one. How? Is he not one now? Of course he's one. But we are going to remember. Then he will be one. And then his will be king, as it should. It already is. But this king, which is his will, which already designed us, sometimes it helps us if we know how to cooperate with it, and sometimes it pushes back if we don't know how to cooperate with it. That's his will doing that, the king. The king says, I created it this way. If you will do it accurately, it will work. If you will do it inaccurately, it won't work. It cannot work. There isn't such a reality. It just doesn't exist. So the unity is where the world is already. You are there already. It works perfectly already, except if we don't remember it, the way that it works is, it pushes back. And so, it's pushing back. The way that it works is that if we love each other and help each other, we feel good. If we hate each other and hurt each other, we feel bad. It's not going to change. The king doesn't let. And so if we love each other and care for each other, the king is happy, we're happy. If we hate each other and hurt each other, the king is waiting, we are miserable. It's already been designed. Our organs know the secret. They know exactly what to create and when to create. They never miss. They've received instruction from our ancestors. Generation after generation, the seed kept on returning. And now it's filled with instruction. And it won't forget. This is its nature. A human is not an animal. His nature is much more subtle, is much more intelligent, and yet a human still has a nature. Just like an animal has a nature. Things that will make the animal happy, things that will make the animal angry, things that will make the animal sad, things that will give the animal confidence. This is just nature. This is the way the king wanted it. This is the will of the king. Our organs know the will of the king. Our minds don't know the will of the king. Our minds get confused. Our minds try to learn reality as if it's words. Reality is not words. Reality creates words. The words of reality are the nature of our organs. That's reality talking. That's reality teaching us what it likes and what it dislikes, what it wants more of and what it wants less of. It's all written in there. Each one of us knows it as the essence of his soul that is imprinted in his body, that results in every feeling, every sensation, every movement. That unity, the unity that we can bring from within, that will result in a unity of all the things without. Because that unity already is. It's only the human mind that hasn't noticed. That's the name. The name is the human thought. That's how we call to the infinite, and that's how he appears to us. His name has been conflicted. We've been calling him in ways that are unpleasant. And so he appears. The world sees the result of that calling. But on that day, on the day we're all waiting for, that's coming closer by the day, his name will be one. No thought will ever go against him ever again. No human will ever rebel against the king. All humans will be concerned getting to know the will of the king as they should be, and complying with it by their own desire and joy, not because of any external force or pressure or any fear of consequence. This is only necessary when we are lost, when we have lost our minds, then we need rules, because otherwise we are dangerous. But when the final revelation comes, there will be freedom, freedom to be you for the first time. And then, what else would you do other than the will of your design? If you are free, if you know the nature of your body and the nature of your soul and how to keep everything in the right perspective, what else would you want to do other than to get to know the will of the King, so that you are permanently aligned with your nature, so nothing can come between you and yourself? And so when that day comes, he will be one, as he always was and always will be. But here's the wonderful gift to humanity. His name will be one. Human thought will unite in one recognition of how to interact with the one that dwells within all.